A walking tour of Old Towne Orange, Orange County's favorite downtown. I'm Chris, this is Yellow Productions. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see what I'm seeing. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through this historic neighborhood founded in 1887, starting with this plaza right here, the fountain built a little bit later in 1937. This neighborhood is a 1 mile square area starting from this plaza and building out. Most of the buildings date back to the 1890s to the 1930s. This neighborhood is full of antique shops, restaurants, really neat shops. Just a cool place to walk around in Orange County. It's located about 30 miles south of downtown Los Angeles. And what's so much better about walking around here than in downtown Los Angeles is all of the parking here is free. Free parking, that's pretty nice. They are preparing for their annual street fair that comes up every Labor Day weekend. So some of the streets are blocked off. It's not always like this, though when it was pandemic time, these streets had tables and chairs on them. We're gonna walk by this street a little bit more, but first we're gonna take a walk around this circle. This traffic circle at the intersection of Chapman and Glassell Street is the heart of Orange. This is the city of Orange, where Orange County gets its name. And you can see these are a lot of cute, quaint buildings that most of Orange County does not look anything like this, because Southern California, people know, is the land of strip malls and tract housing. So this neighborhood is just really quaint with lots of chairs that you can sit on, relax, enjoy a coffee here at this circle. And this is the largest registered historic district in the United States. Antique shops, great for antiquing. I mentioned earlier there are over 40 antique shops here in Old Towne Orange. You can get here by driving, which I like to do because of the free parking. You can also take the Metrolink train here because there's a Metrolink station just about 3 blocks away. So this is Chapman Avenue, which I would consider is probably the main street that people take to come in here. And you can see a lot of the shops that are here are like vintage shops. This shop is called Elsewhere. It is a vintage clothing shop where you can get vintage dresses and fashions of time gone by. And we've got Hat Maker and Restorations, the Graham Hat Company, which is the men's side of this vintage shop, and a lot of vintage hats. It's also got right here the classic wooden cigar, popular of California cigar shops. Many of the restaurants and cafes here have outdoor seating where you can sit, have a drink, have a coffee. This vintage shop doesn't just sell vintage, but you'll actually find a lot of these vintage shops will buy vintage clothes with those really huge jeans right there. Barbers are really making a resurgence now. People don't want to go to Supercuts anymore. They want to go to a classic barber. Now, a nice thing about walking around here is that there's a lot of crosswalks, and because there's a lot of pedestrians, this is one place where the cars actually respect the pedestrians. I really like this place, Boss Cat Kitchen and Libations. It's got a cool setup. They've made the inside of it look like an old gas station. You can see there's a couple gas pumps in there. Great food, great drinks to be had here in a nice vibe. And I like this little room that has these like bird cages in it, that has some of the drinks in it. Just a neat looking place. Okay, so now walking back to the circle, I will say your exploration, basically come to the circle, come to the fountain, that intersection of Chapman and Glassell Street, start at the fountain and just walk, a couple blocks in each direction. So this, on this corner, is a little outpost of Earth Cafe, a Southern California coffee and brunch institution. Lines here can often be quite long, and they don't have their corner door open. They've got this far door open, but if you like coffee, you like pastries, and you like brunch, this is a great place to get some. They also have some really pretty good desserts too. Let's see if we can sneak in here. Any of these doors open? How do we get in this place? Here we go. This door's open, so we can take a look. And you can see it's a really neat inside Looks historic. No, I was just looking at your cakes, if that's okay. I was doing a video on Old Towne Orange, so yeah, thank you. And so you can see we've got plenty of cakes right here, and it's a great place. I love their cakes. Obviously, when somebody walks in with a get-up like I do, people are like, hey, what are you looking for? So they asked me if I needed any help. They are friendly, and they didn't do what a lot of places do, which is, no videotaping. So thank you very much, Earth Cafe, for letting me come in and take a look at your pastries. This right here is a location of Starbucks coffee. It used to be the Orange Daily News. You don't often see you don't see Starbucks that look classic like this. In the left, there's a cigar shop. Got a few folks out there smoking their cigars. And a few outdoor seats here. When it was pandemic time, there were more seats here in the circle, but they've returned parking to that. I mentioned barbers. Here's another old school looking barber shop. Cool place to get your hair cut. And as we go down this way on this corner, there's an outpost of Blaze Pizza. Another Southern California chain, specializes in fast-fired pizzas. You can go in there. It's kind of like the Chipotle of pizza. Get your pizza in like 3 minutes pretty quick. You can see here they're setting up for that street fair, the International Street Fair of food from Lebanon, Thailand, England, Mexico. This is where a lot of the antique shops are. So on the right is the Orange Circle Antique Mall. One thing I also like about walking around here is that a lot of the businesses have these awnings on them. So if it's a hot day, it's nice and shady. There's a Army Navy surplus store. So if you're looking for uniforms or things like that, you can pick it up here. If you like afternoon tea, check out the Paris in a Cup Cafe and Tea Salon. Asian food has been coming into Orange Circle recently. There's a shabu restaurant here where you can get shabu shabu, Japanese food, where you get these meats that you put in that hot boiling soup to cook it at your table. This place, I've not eaten here, Seafood for Thought, but gets a lot of good reviews on Yelp. It's a seafood restaurant. The Enchanted Florist, you can get flowers. Flowers seem to be like a dying institution of flower shops, but you can still get some here. We can see there's a delivery in progress because this is an old neighborhood. They didn't have places for trucks to stop, so they just stop right there in the circle. On the right here is a really popular local deli where you can pick up sandwiches. Don't go to Subway, pick up some local sandwiches right here. And this place, I think they have like one of those hours where they're just, open in the day, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then they close. It's called Two's Company, little tiny local neighborhood sandwich shop. But people always sitting in front of it seem really happy with their food. Okay, this place is pretty cool. This is called the Potting Shed. This is like a, upscale nursery in a building. And if we walk into the potting shed, we first go into the store that has like plants and things that are in here. This is like their gift shop section. But as we go back into it, then we can see some pictures of bunnies, and we can see some other plants back here. All these things are for sale. It's not just a museum, as I'm turned out to be. Fountains. But, nurseries usually are just big lots with plants as opposed to little alcoves that you can explore like this of multiple shops and inner courtyards that have been connected together. And it's just a couple buildings like this. So as you come in this one, this is just the emergency exit, so you can't go out that way. Maybe when it's busy you can, but you got to go back out the front. I'm going to rejoin you out the front, or you're going to rejoin me out the front, so you don't have to watch me walk back through this store again. All right, so just coming back out of the potting shed into Orange Circle. On the right-hand side here is Bhutan Ramen, which looks like they have pretty tasty ramens. I've not eaten at this place, but ramens are definitely popular in Southern California. I like ramen. Place we've definitely considered checking out. This is a really neat Wells Fargo right there. Old building. cool to head inside and explore. And we're gonna come up here on the right where people are walking their doggies. Lots of the locals that live around here like to take their walks through the circle because it's just a nice place to walk. Watson's, the original soda fountain, was established in 1899. So this place is over 100 years old, has a classic soda fountain. They serve breakfast all day. And a little slice of history here, you can see soda fountains used to kind of be places to actually be like medicinal. So there's like the medicine there, and it used to be a bit more of a drugstore. We can do this and look in there, and you can see that's got a really old school vibe to it, that classic soda fountain. All right, well, on here, there's a little ice cream place on the corner, but we're going to go ahead and cross the street as some cars slow down so that we don't die, because there's some YouTubers that do backflips off waterfalls, and you say, hey, isn't that kind of dangerous, and what happens if you die? And they're like, well, at least I'd have it on camera and I'd get a lot of views. I, on the other hand, have no desire to die. I don't want to make that video of me dying no matter how many views it gets, because I have the long term in mind. I want to make more videos for you, not just a single last one here at Orange Circle. This is that 1937 fountain in the center again. Obviously, as a circle, we will be walking by this a few times, but you can see as a historic district, a lot of these have signs on them. Right here lets you know this was the city of Orange's first bank, organized in 1886. So that bank was open even before Orange was a city, just a year later. I ran into a couple of locals that live here. I asked them what their favorite place was. They said they really like to come for drinks here at the Wall in the corner. So if you're looking for something here at night to get a drink, check out the Wall. Lots of beer taps in there. Not quite open yet at 1:30 in the afternoon on a Friday. Probably good, because if you've started your evening drinking at 1:30 on a Friday, well, you probably got some other issues. I always joke that that's why people like brunch, because brunch legitimizes day drinking. You can get a mimosa or a champagne at 10 a.m. And if you do that at brunch, you're not a lush, you're not a drunk, you're just someone who likes brunch. This is the last street we're gonna walk down. This street also has a lot of restaurants. If you like barbecue, this one over here called Smoked is a good one. If you like ice cream, this place called After's Ice Cream has good ice cream and ice cream sandwiches. On the right, this is another antique market and a little kind of like historic toy store, like a toy store that sells like a lot of wooden things. And I feel like toy stores are things from a time gone by, unfortunately. In my time growing up, there were a lot of toy stores, but not anymore. They got their little stuffed animals here, which are cute, in the window. All right. There's a record store over there. So if you want to pick up some records, you can do that. How many record stores do y'all see anymore? Not that many, right? Records are another thing of a time gone by. For Mexican food, one of my favorites in Orange County is this place. This is Don Jefe's Jalapeno Grill. Go in there, get the carne asada torta. You will enjoy it. I also really like this place. This is called Jackson's. They make fried chicken tenders, fried chicken sandwiches, really good mac and cheese. We just ate here last weekend, so go in and get that. They used to sell burgers, and then they switched to chicken, but they're both good. Pizza Press, kind of like Blaze Pizza, fast pizza. Another ramen spot, place for dumplings. Over here on the left, we got a Boba Tea Shop, a comic book store. This is another old school comic book store. Right, neat thing about this neighborhood, there's a comic book store. If you watch my channel regularly, you'll know I love to go to San Diego Comic-Con, and so we'll go ahead and take a look in this comic book shop. And look at that, a lot of comics in there. So comic lovers, definitely come here and check out this branch of Torpedo Comics. There used to be a theater here in the corner, now taken over by a church. And this place, if you watched my video last weekend of the LA Arts District. This is another branch of the Pie Hole, which is a famous pie shop by the slice. This is another famous brunch place on the right, the filling station. We've never been able to get a seat in there because it's always really busy. And a really trendy coffee shop here in the corner that has taken over a auto repair place is Phil's Coffee. It's all drip coffee here, but it's kind of like foofy coffee. And then while you're exploring Orange Circle, definitely get out into the neighborhoods where people live, because you'll see a lot of the classic houses that are around here. They are the California craftsman architecture. So typical redwood construction in these little, they often refer to them as bungalows because they were small houses. A lot of them have become big now. A lot of them that used to be houses are now, this one's a real estate office. I think the next one's a law firm. You can see here, this one has had their backyard turned into a parking lot, but the houses are super classic, and the people who live here definitely do a good job of keeping them up. You can see this one has been turned into a gift shop. The one up there has been turned into a gift shop too. 2 blocks ahead is Chapman University. So that's those beige buildings in the back. We're not going to walk quite that far, but we're going to walk one more block because I want to take you to Bruxy. If you've seen my videos on Las Vegas, when they were there on the Las Vegas Strip, they're famous for chicken and waffle sandwiches. Pretty good, and this is their original location. This shop I gotta include because it's a yellow bungalow that has a lot of interesting items, knickknacks, things like that in it. If you like vegetarian and vegan food, people always ask me, Chris, where do I go? Go right here to Rutabaga's restaurant. A lot of plant-based items here. Soup of the day, corn chowder, as it would be at a plant-based type restaurant. You can see on the right, more of these craftsman-style homes. This was track housing before they were track housing. So these all kind of look similar, but a little bit different. These style of houses were really popular from the 1900s up until maybe the 1930s. And our final stop on the tour right here, Bruxy, the chicken waffle place. They've got some nice mist going on because it's a warm day. It's about 90 degrees this Friday in August that I'm shooting it. They got this outdoor seating that's out here. It's a cool location, and you can see they got a picture of their chicken and waffle sandwiches. You just order right there from the window, and it is pretty good. And then just behind me, kitty corner from Bruxy, that's Chapman University. You could explore that too if you want to, but you can do that on your own time. Well, hey, if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy some of my other walking tours. You can click up here and here to watch them. Find links in the description below. Check out my walking tour from last week at the LA Arts District, where you'll find the Pie Hole's other location. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in that video.